get this. Feminism is a range of political movements and ideology, that people have different opinions on different theories and standpoints. Where do you stand when it comes to feminism?
Do you mean modern third-wave feminism? Because as practiced, I am opposed to it as its primary claims of gender disparities in the West are either misinformed or outright fabrications. But I'm sure that this trio will convince me otherwise.
Can I go first?
Yes, of course, of course.
And hello. So this is what my take about feminism. I think that you're either all in or all out.
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
And what I mean by that is simple. When I talk about feminism, I'm talking about your civil liberties and your civil rights. You know, I want us to be equal across the entire spectrum.
What civil liberties or civil rights are afforded men that are not also afforded women? Examples, please.
I want us to be paid the same.
The Equal Pay Act of 1963 makes it a federal crime to pay someone more or less for a job on the basis of gender. Add to that a raft of similar laws that have been passed since that time to underscore that principle. Setting different pay rates based on gender is against the law. If you know of a company that is breaking the law, call the authorities.
I want us to not have to pay extra for our body products. Why do we still tax tampons, but we don't tax Viagra?
In nearly every state in the U.S., prescription drugs are not taxed. Viagra is a prescription drug. But then, so is birth control. I wonder what you would say if someone argued that birth control should be taxed.
Why do I have to pay more for life insurance?
Women do not pay more than men for life insurance. Since men, on average, have shorter lifespans than women do, work in more dangerous jobs than women do, participate in more dangerous pastimes than women do, men represent a higher risk to insurance companies than women do. Consequently, men pay higher premiums on insurance than women do. We are not even a minute into this video, and our first speaker is misinformed or entirely incorrect on her points. Feminist logic.
These are things that are important to me, and these are things that I think need to be equal. Why do women not get drafted? You want equality, you have to get drafted.
Well, now on that one, I completely agree. And moves have been recently made to include women in the Selective Service, though that provision was recently dropped by Congress. So, maybe there's hope for you yet.
Yeah, so that's the thing that I always find a hard time with, because, I mean, I'm definitely down for powerful women, let's be equal, and let's make it right. But at the same time, I'm like, wait a minute, we can't have a double-edged sword here. Like, if we're gonna, if we're gonna demand equality, then we have to be willing to, give up the things that we kind of get away with as well.
Get away with it? Are you acknowledging your female privilege?
So you're gonna go like this for a second?
Yeah, right now.
Oh,
yeah.
no. Girls stick together,
Girls stick together.
Ladies,
We take care of each other.
it's so important.
We take care of each other, baby.
How's that, guys?
You good.
Woohoo, feminism.
I have no idea what just happened, and I wouldn't dare attempt to mansplain it.
So, I think I have a different opinion, a slightly different opinion.
Ooh.
I think that, yes, I agree with you in what you said about equality with our rights, our civil rights.
Yep.
What civil rights do men possess that women do not? Examples, please.
But I think
Human
that's just
rights.
a part of it.
Okay.
I think that we are different. I think we're different.
Yeah.
I don't think that, because when you start talking about equality, men and women are the same. I don't think that identicality is necessary for us to have.
No, of course.
Civil rights.
You're correct. This is sort of why the 1964 Civil Rights Act makes it illegal to discriminate on the basis of, well, being different than someone else. That's that whole civil word in there. Rights belong to everyone, which you have, the same as a man. Unless, again, you know of some rights that men have that you do not.
Of course, at the end of the day, I weigh 120 pounds and I will never be 6'4" and weigh more than that. So I will never be able to do the hard physical labor that someone else maybe bigger than me will be able to do.
Uh-huh. But that's got nothing to do with one's rights. You don't have a right to a job you are not qualified for. So, what are you even talking about?
And I feel like instead of trying to aim for gender neutrality or I know that identicality and that equal all across the board, I want to celebrate what is
the differences.
The difference. What are the differences?
There's got to be a balance. No,
what the heck is she talking about? Instead of equality, you want to celebrate the differences? What?
I think that's what people kind of get confused a little bit.
Oh, I'm confused, all right.
Because being equal doesn't mean that you have to kind of put in the back burner the things that set you apart. You know, like me having curly hair and being brown skin I'm not going to put those things aside just because what I'm talking about, it's like your
human rights.
Your human rights. We all have a right to be the same because we're all the same in that regard.
Uh-huh. We all have rights on the basis of being human. Full stop. This is what the law provides you and me and everyone else in this country. What does your skin tone or hairstyle have to do with any of that?
But we're, a melting pot. We're all different. We all have things that set us apart, and I think that's beautiful that we celebrate that. But the equality comes from the humanity. The equality comes from saying, like, the opportunities for my daughter to become president or like the CEO of a company has to be the same as a man, regardless of our black, white, gender, whatever the hell. You know what I'm saying? That's what I stand for. I stand for the opportunities being there for everybody equally. For every human equally.
Hillary Clinton received the popular vote in the last election. There are women on the Supreme Court. There are female CEOs in Fortune 500 companies. You are the host of an internet talk show. What are you talking about?
That doesn't mean that we're equal people, that I'm not different from you and we're all the same.
There's a name for it. It's difference feminism.
Okay.
Difference feminism. You know, feminisms are like Pokemon, aren't they? I mean, we have black feminism, white feminism, intersectional feminism, sex-positive feminism, radical feminism, ecofeminism, and now difference feminism. If feminism means everything, then it doesn't really stand for anything, does it? But okay, I'll bite. What is difference feminism?
Which
we
is
love
like
a
you
label.
are feminist, but you also you believe in those differences, and you know that you believe that there's a difference between a woman and a man.
Of course,
in many different areas.
You recognize that there are differences between a woman and a man. That's difference feminism? Got it.
Yeah.
You know?
One of the things that we were talking about, remember you said how being a mom is really important to you?
Yeah.
And some people feel that being a mom is the great accomplishment of their lives.
Yeah.
But some feminists look down on that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I can't.
And that gives us a bad name.
So, wait. Are you disagreeing with feminists on the question of motherhood?
I think that you're either all in or all out.
So, are you some kind of moderate?
Like, I think it's like a newer thing.
It is.
Where
It's a millennial.
it's considered weak to be a stay-at-home mom. Like, oh my
I
God,
don't
is
think
that all
so.
you've done with your life? Because like I've seen it in like movies and I've seen it in series where women are mothers and then they're like, oh, I just can't stand being here anymore.
Right.
Is this all I'm gonna do? Just stay at home? Does he expect me to just like be with my kids?
Right.
You know, as if that's something that you shouldn't
there
do
are some
it's
women
not
that have
ambitious enough or whatever.
I completely agree. Everyone should be free to make their own choices. If a woman wants to be a stay-at-home mother and raise her kids rather than working a stressful job, then go for it. If you have the ability to do so, more power to you. If a feminist criticizes you for making your own choices, I think you'd have to question what women's liberation really means to them.
Their ambition is their children's lives.
Yeah.
And I
That's
know,
fine.
you know,
That's fine.
that could be very busy and very tiresome.
And in reality, I think that that's kind of, it's the ultimate that separates us from a man.
Yeah, it's our ultimate human difference. Is that?
It is our ultimate human difference. And if anything, it makes us even more important than a man.
Ha! Female supremacy shining through. Yes, let's celebrate our differences. Let's demand equality across the board. But never forget, women will always be more important than men are. Got it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because equality, we're better.
No, it's true because, I mean, yeah, I had a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
And I hope that I can do that for my
gosh,
children.
I wish I could have had
probably
that.
won't
Yeah.
because it's harder now, like economically.
Right.
But I think that's like the ultimate thing that sets us apart
Yeah.
and that makes us important and we're needed. And
Yes, being a stay-at-home parent is something that only women can do. Men are just not capable of such things. Because they're, well, men. Duh.
Yo,
Another
being a
thing-
mother,
Jacob, you don't have
they
a
will
womb.
never, like, I could be a CEO one day, and a guy can be a CEO one day, but he will never get to be a mother.
yeah,
Right.
he will never
And I
pop a
respect
baby
that.
out.
Yeah, you're quite right. A man can be a CEO, but a man cannot be a mother. But, you know, a woman can be a CEO, but she'll never be a father. So, yeah. What sort of feminism does that line of thinking fall under? Gestation feminism?
And I respect that. And one thing that you have to kind of take into consideration as well is that Hollywood is not really reflective of everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What? Now we're on Hollywood? Okay.
Most of the writers in those
Now.
rooms most of those writers in those rooms tend to be a certain persuasion, a certain color skin, a certain
Exactly.
thing that they don't talk for the rest of us.
A certain persuasion. A certain colored skin. They don't talk for the rest of us. Tell me again about celebrating differences.
You know what I
So
mean?
we will talk for ourselves, guys.
And I am more than glad that you are talking for yourselves, because this entire segment, in all of its scrambling incoherence, is an excellent analogy of the modern feminist movement. A confusion of claims, accusations, and ideological inconsistencies desperately searching for a concrete definition. And all of it hoping that if enough talking points, buzzwords, and ideological labels are shouted out into the ether, maybe that noise alone will, one day, really replace substance. As always, thank you for watching.